All right, Knights of Apollo, what is up, guys? We are finally back with a Total War battle, and guys, this is no ordinary battle. We are witnessing a fight of the best. So about over a month ago, I uploaded a Napoleon battle from a tournament. Well, this is the same tournament. It is now in the semi-final. Well, actually, it finished, but I'm going to be showing you the semifinals and the finale between the top two teams. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Really great plays from some great players. So sit back, relax, get some snacks and drinks. And I promise you guys, when you finish this battle, you're going to be hungry for more. And speaking of hungry, that reminds me of today's sponsor. So today's video is sponsored by HelloFresh. So HelloFresh is one of my favorite sponsors because I love their service and I've used it for many years before they've even reached out to me. So this is just a win-win. So if you've never heard of HelloFresh, it's a meal kit service. So what you do is you go online, you select meals that look delicious that you want to eat, and they deliver the ingredients straight to your doorstep with the exact ingredients you need. So it's super easy recipes, really simple meals that are super delicious, healthy ingredients. And then when you're done cooking, you're not going to really have that much left over. And many times where I make a meal, I go to the grocery store, I buy way too much, I cook the meal, and then I got ingredients left over and they go bad. You know, you got the perfect amount of ingredients. And no matter what your dietary needs are, maybe you need to eat more vegetables, maybe you got to eat more protein, maybe you don't eat meat at all. You can look on their website and you can select meals that fit your needs. If you ever are running out of ideas for recipes, HelloFresh is great because you'll get all these new recipes that are super easy to make. Cooking dinner and eating dinner should be an activity that you do as a family with loved ones. Cook together, eat together, make it a big ordeal, and HelloFresh really helps with that. Don't miss out. Try out HelloFresh. You will not regret it. And there's a big deal going on right now. So if you look down in the video description, use the link and use my code. When you use my code, you will get a free breakfast item for life. So my code is POGAPOLLO3. So every box that you order of food, you will get a free breakfast item. So this is just free food. So don't miss out. This is a great opportunity to get started with HelloFresh. Link down in the video description. Use my code and get yourself a delicious meal that you can have with your family. So thank you to HelloFresh for the sponsorship, and let's get back to the battle. All right, guys, so this one's going to start off really quickly. So I'm going to break down the teams, the players, and everything in the rules as this progresses. Now, we do have Great Britain and Prussia teaming up against Spain and France. Now, Spain has a lot of vanguard troops, so they can deploy a lot of ambushes, and that's what we're seeing here. And we're playing on the pyramids. This is a key part of this map, of this battlefield. This section here, everybody loves to fight for it. So that's why we have an intense fight going on. France moving up their cap. So let's look at the teams here really quick as this unravels. So the British and Prussian team, they're called Slavkov. So congratulations to them for making it to the semifinals. So Slavkov, just to remind you guys, the British and the Prussians. On the other side, we have High Hussars. You guys remember the High Hussars? They're back in it. They've reached the semifinals. So again, they're playing as France and Spain. So the way this works, it's a best out of 3. There is no point systems to this at all. So if you guys remember in previous battles, it would be a point system where if you had weaker troops and won, you usually won the matchup because you earned more points. The weaker the faction, the more points they're worth. The stronger the faction, sometimes they're worth negative points. Well, in the playoff situation, the way it works is that you can only play one faction once. So, for example, let's say the High Hussars win this matchup. They cannot play Spain or France in future battles. So you have to pick wisely what faction you want to play as. A nice little charge there by the British. We got Dragoons going for the artillery. Look at that. Really good play there. In the chaos of this gunfight, you can see that Spain is desperately trying to get his troops up here to support his vanguard troops who are trying to hold the fort here. But the British are just taking their time. The French are kind of linking up with the Spanish, and you can see the Prussians are kind of siding over to the British to kind of help them out. So it's getting very intense, guys. We got infantry rolling up. And that's pretty a smart play by the Slavkov team. Remember, Slavkov being British and Prussians. They are doing a great job of just not panicking and taking their time and just doing what the British do best, is just opening fire and, you know, sitting back and shooting them. Not panicking in that situation. You can see they've even pushed back. Look, the Cav still in the mix, which is causing the infantry to group up, where the British infantry can kind of pick them off now. And now these King German light foot, they're going to fall back because the infantry is kind of recovered and he doesn't want these guys to be gunned down. So he's going to run them back, it looks like. Here comes more Cav. 15th Hussar. What are they doing? Well, it's probably because they can't form squares. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to get aggressive and charge this Cav in. So yeah, very good play right there. Very nice job. Now back over on this side, it's a little bit of a slower pace, a bit more touch and go. Just kind of like opening fire and seeing what they can do, kind of dipping their toes. But it does look like it's going pretty well for the Prussians and the British. Kind of surprising that the High Hussars brought the French so early. You would think that the French factions would be saved for the finale. But again, you got to get to the finale to do that. So maybe they just want to win this matchup because they're kind of like afraid of... I mean, they also... Keep in mind that the Slavkov also went as the British, which is a very good faction, up there with the French. So there we go. Nice little counter Cav charge, and the British are going to counter Cav charge that Cav charge, and they're going to send in Dragoons. This British Cav has been absolutely disastrous for the Spanish. They just have not been able to maintain their front lines. This battle is going extremely fast. Extremely fast. It's not looking good for the Spanish and French, but it's still very early. You definitely... Oh, they got to stop the bleeding. They got to stop this Cav once and for all. It cannot be able to free to roam around and do whatever it wants. It's definitely doing some damage to the enemy, obviously the enemy artillery, but it's also inflicting damages to the infantry, which is not good. The Spanish army already looks depleted and tired. This unit is looking the wrong way. I just think that the Spanish player is just microing everywhere right now. You can see the French have even pushed up some Polish legion to try to take up where the Spanish were to maintain this line to prevent the British from taking this hill. But over here, the British have taken this spot. They're now using grenadiers to try to block off more of the British Cav. But it's looking like the grenadiers, if they can't, looks like, okay, they are recovering, which is good. But for how long? Because they're getting shot now by the rifles. And there we go. That breaks the grenadiers for the Spanish. And this is looking like it's going extremely well for the British over here. Over on this side, it's a little bit, you know, it's a little bit intense. We are seeing some aggressive plays here from the Prussian forces. This is insane. Look at this, guys. Going in with musketeers in the Fusilier line. They're not going to charge. They just want to get really close shots. Make their shots count. Let's see. Let's watch for this volley. Come on, volley. Very cool. So nice little shot right there. We got another unit of foot guard. These guys are super elite. The French have to do something here aggressive. I don't think they can sit back and play a gun game. Like, I think they got to get aggressive, get bayonets involved. They got the artillery firing. It is just hell. It is hell between these two armies. A crossfire of death. We'll see how that plays out. We got Cav charging into a square. That's not looking good for the Chasseurs Cheval. They're not going to be able to do much work there. Over on this side, it does look like we got a little victory of the French, or for the French, as they defeat the Prussian Cav. But they need to get over, and I don't see any weakness in this Prussian army. I think most of these units are going to be able to zone out this Cav, so we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, they got to win somewhere. They're definitely not winning over here. Let's go back over here where the Prussians actually have a unit of Cav trying to help the Spanish. Oh, wait, no. I'm sorry. The Prussians are fighting the Spanish. The Prussians are helping the British. That's what I meant. But the Spanish have now charged in more Cav as well. just trying to slow down and break the British cav. But dang it, guys, it's looking pretty rough for the Spanish forces here. And it is looking, I don't want to call the battle yet, but it is looking like pure domination so far for the Slavkov team here against the High Hussars. Which, remember, guys, about a month ago, we watched the High Hussars in action, and they played very well. This is not like them to kind of, again, it's not over yet. It's far from over. They still have enough troops to turn this around, but they really got to start doing something. Nice little charge from the Spanish cav going after these lights, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. This cav unit is, yeah, toast. They just got blasted by the 2 square formation line infantry there in a crossfire. That sucks. Back this way, the British, they're still just playing the long game, and they can do that. Here comes a flank charge with the French. The 7th Regiment of Lancers here. They're charging in. There we go. That's something. That's something. Got the general kind of freaking out. He's kind of getting out of there. A nice little charge from the Spanish over on this side. That's nice. Heavy cav coming in. That's huge. Is that going to be enough? Guys, you'll be surprised. I've seen it many times where a couple good cav charges can turn a battle around. So is that going to be enough? I don't know. So he kind of ran through those guys. It wasn't a push through or anything like that. He knocked them all down with that charge. But is this going to be enough? They got to fire. They got to, like, the French have to fire hard right now. They got to fire into this blob of Prussians so they don't recover and reform their lines. But yeah, they really wanted to kill that foot guard unit because it's so good. Back this way, we got more infantry closing in. Musketeers of Prussia going against the Fusiliers of Line. It does look like the Fusilier are going to get overwhelmed here. I don't think they can withstand this might of this healthy Prussian musketeer unit. So yeah, really good play there. Back this way, the British have taken this hill. They've got Coldstream Guard who have barely seen any action, if not any action at all. So they're going to move up here. And guys, I just don't see the Spanish army being able to withstand anything here. Like, they honestly, these troops just need to regroup with the French and see if they can consolidate and cause mass breakage for the Prussians. I don't think that's going to happen because the Prussians are making a wide turn here with the Dragoons. And I think he's going to be able to clean up this battle. If this battle is less than 15 minutes, I might play the second battle in one video. Because it's so short that I know you guys like your longer battles, so we might as well just play both of them here. It does appear that this is coming down to the final couple minutes, and it does appear that Slavkov, sorry, brain fart there. Slavkov is going to win this matchup against the High Hussars. So, a really good play. I guess while this is unraveling, it's pretty much over. Strategically, there's not much to really talk about, but really what happened is the aggressive play from the British with their cav. That really, because the one weakness about having those vanguard troops out in the front here, they're not they're vulnerable to good striking cav, you know what I mean? So he was able to go in. So Billy Blazes and Iron Fist leading the High Hussars, getting in, I mean this with complete respect to the High Hussars, but getting utterly destroyed in this matchup. But it's not that it was necessarily terrible play by the High Hussars. It's just a well-executed attack by the Slavkov team. They did such a good job with the cav. The French were not really able to do anything against the Prussians. I think that's because he had to kind of send some units to help Spain. Spain took a risk by using vanguards. He was going to try to speed bump, slow down the British forces, but it just didn't work because the British did not let up, and they controlled this battle the whole time. So that was a great fight. You can see that it was pretty one-sided there. You can see some of the stats. You can pause and look at it. But yeah, you know, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next battle so this video is not too short. So you're going to see both matchups. If the High Hussars can win the next one, they will push it to a third match. So we'll see if they can do that. But if Slavkov wins the next one, they're going to move on to the finale. So let's get to the next battle. Okay, battle number 2. They're going to now switch sides. So now on this side, we have the High Hussars, who are bringing Great Britain. So it might be a little confusing because we're seeing the same exact army in the same spot. But this is the different team. They're now selecting Great Britain. They, like I said, High Hussars. And then they're also playing as Denmark. Now, Slavkov on the other side is going as Austria and the Ottomans. Interesting. Going infantry heavy here. Look at all these swords. Look at all this melee. So this is going to be interesting. Remember, they're fighting to get into the finale here. Slavkov, if they get one more win right here, they are moving on to the finals. So they're getting very aggressive. They're sending everything they got. Now, this deployment is in favor. In terms of capturing this hill, you're definitely in favor here because you're closer. But really great aggressive play. Look, he's got these knights. They're basically knights. The Siltar Guard. They're like heavily armored. They're awesome. So they're going to go charging in. And they're going to try to keep back the British. And that's basically what he's going to do with this deadly cav. He's going to buy time for the swordsmen to get up there. And once again, Slavkov, the team is going to play super aggressive here. Love to see that. And I love seeing that because a lot of times when you play Napoleon Total War against like the average player, they are all super defensive. I hate it. And I think that there's a great skill to being aggressive. And if you're good at it, you can defeat anyone. You know, here comes another charge. Look at this. Austria is going to go in and help. They're going for the light foot a little bit. But they're also going to charge the Highland foot. So they kind of got a 2-for-1 in that charge. Good job there. They're going to take some losses there. So nice supporting fire by the sharpshooters of Denmark. And look at this cav unit just going in right now. Look at this. So they are just charging. And I love this map too. This is probably my favorite map on Napoleon. I just love the landscape, the dunes. The dunes make it so interesting. And just the firing, it's just so awkward because you could have some troops low on the dune just firing into the dirt. So they're opening fire. We've got some Grenzers. So this is the lights for Austria. Oof. Oof. They're opening fire as well. That was a good volley right there. And there we go. All right. So here's the thing to consider. I would say generally speaking, the British have better gun infantry than the Ottomans. Now, of course, the Ottomans have swordsmen, which are very scary, and you got to keep your distance from them. Try to get the guns ablazing. Rely on the guns to win this day. Do not rely on close combat because you will lose. That's the advantage of the Ottomans. So for the Ottomans to take this, they got to figure out a way to close in and use these sword units. We'll see. Oh, there he goes. There he goes. He's going right now. We had the Bashi Bazooks. They're charging in as we speak. There's some action going on the other side of the battle. Looks like some cav play from Denmark. Here we go. Here comes the charge. A Highland foot, though. A Highland foot. That's a tough unit to kill with swords. And now the Ottomans are charging in cav. The Denmark is supporting the British here, trying to flank around. The Ottomans are going to disengage. Back over on this side, we've got a back and forth with cav. Denmark got their militia. They can't form square. They can barely do anything. But they need to quickly turn around and shoot the cav units in the back. You got to deal with the cav. So the Austrians taking a slower approach here compared to his Ottoman ally, but he is trying to close in and he's trying to get some good flank fire on the British. The British need to fall back here. This is not good. He's getting hit hard on the flank and he's doing nothing about it. Back over this way. Look at this, guys. The swords are handling themselves. That sounded weird. They're doing well against the British forces. The Highland foot. Now back over this way. Same thing, guys. Charging in those swords. Highland Foot gonna countercharge. So far, this has been a much closer battle. Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's almost like the British should have had layers of troops and they should have just fallen back and kited the swordsmen. Again, keeping distance from the swords, but it's too late. They're running away. They're not breaking. They're just running and they're getting chased down by the Bashi bazooks. Back this way. It looks like they held here. The British held here, so that's promising for the British. This is far from over. Now, Austria is going to be tough to take on. They're a good faction. Denmark, in terms of just factions, Denmark is a lesser faction in terms of strength and power, you know, in the game, in terms of the roster, right? Now, that doesn't include the skill of the player, but we'll see what happens here. And sorry if I'm moving the camera around too much. I'm just trying to capture everything because these battles go pretty quick. Pretty quick. There we go. More firing coming down. Boom, boom, boom. German Fusiliers moving up. Oh no, we got more swords coming in. A fresh unit. But they're about to charge into a unit of guns that did not set up properly. And so they were not able to get a volley off. These guys are dead. His line infantry stand no chance against the Bashi bazooks. So the Ottomans have won over here. The British are calling it quits over here. They're going to now form. This is not terrible. This is not terrible here. Because you're basically what you're doing is, yeah, you're trying to kite the enemy. They rely on close range. You rely on distance. Create some distance. Here comes another cav charge. Some Uhlans. They're charging in. Trying to get some good hits. We do have some cav setting up some dragoons. It looks like they kind of scared the Grenzers here a little bit. But oof. This looks again like it's going very well for Team Slavkov. And the High Hussars. Oh. That's going to be a nasty charge right there. Royal Scots Grey, they're a great cav, but yeah, they were depleted, they were tired, and they lost to the Ottoman cav pretty easily there. And now the Ottomans have broken through, and they're getting the artillery. And guys, once again, wow, some great aggressive plays. Look at this. Here comes the swords. There's nothing they can do. They tried to get off some shots, but they're going to get charged. Now the Ottomans are closing, or not the Ottomans, I'm sorry. The Austrians are closing in, and they look extremely healthy relative to the Danish army. And yeah, guys, this looks like we are going to have another decisive victory for Slavkov. The High Hussars just not able to maintain their lines and hold off the enemy forces. I think, I don't know. How do you think they could have beaten the Ottomans there? I think you kind of have to give up terrain. I think fighting for the terrain is disastrous. I think you kind of have to like retreat, fire. Easier said than done. That's so much micro. It's very challenging. So this was just like, I think a part of this was just good faction selection. I mean, obviously, when you see someone go as the Ottoman Empire, you know they're going to probably bring some swords. But the thing about the Ottoman Empire is, look at this. Look at these guys. The thing about them is that they could not bring swords at all and still be a strong faction. The Ottomans are good. Like, they have a lot of choices. They have a lot of options. So, you know, the British could have saw the Ottoman player, or the player picked the Ottomans, and he could have thought, okay, well, he's probably going to bring swords, but he could not bring swords. And I could build an army to counter swords, but then he shows up with no swords, and he just has a bunch of line infantry. You know what I mean? So it's tough. It's tough to counter the Ottomans. Ottomans are a scary faction because you don't know what you're going to get from them. So Austrians, you're a pretty typical faction, great infantry. You know, they're just good. There we go. That's it. That was even shorter battle than the first one. So Billy Blazes, Iron Fist. Unfortunately, their journey in this tournament ends here, but damn, they put up a hell of a fight. getting this far. Maybe not in these particular battles, but they did good nonetheless. So congratulations to Team High Hussars for getting this far in the first ever Napoleon Total War tournament. Which, by the way, guys, there's a link down in the video description if you want to follow the tournament more closely and you want to join, join the Discord. And if you want to join in future seasons and future battles, because I think they do want to expand the Napoleon so they can have more teams, the Napoleon League. So congratulations to Team Slavkov. They win 2-0 and they're going on to the finale, which we will watch soon. But before we watch the finale, we are going to watch the matchup between two other teams, which I completely forgot who's in it. But you'll see very soon. So the next couple videos will be the other side of the semifinals, and then whoever wins that will face Slavkov in the finale. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember, don't forget to use the video description and look at the Discord for this tournament, and also HelloFresh. Get some fresh food to cook some delicious meals. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.